So we've got this necklace here that I'm going to show you how to make, which we've called All Wrapped Up, which the project sheet is on our website. But you can see here we've used glass pearls and some gold-plated wire. So I'll show you how to make this. So this is 0.4mm wire in a gold plate. And we're going to use these to make the little wire wraps. I've got my round nose pliers. I'm just going to put a little loop in the end of this to stop any beads falling off, and then I'm going to pop 6mm beads on here. I've got these just here. I'm just going to thread these all on, and then I want these just to be sort of spaced a bit randomly around the wire once I'm coiling it. So we're going to make one large one like this. So this is 30cm of wire and 6 beads, and once I've got the 6 on, I'm going to make another little loop at this end, as I say, just to stop them falling off while we're working with it. So I'm going to make, as I say, 3 different sizes of coils. So I've got literally just chosen 3 random thickness of round things from off the desk. Obviously you can pick up whatever you can find around the home. So this is going to be my larger one, so I'm going to go here for my thicker pen, and I'm literally just going to hold the end, space these beads out, and then just wrap around here. I'm deliberately making it a little bit sort of messy and higgledy-piggledy. You don't want it looking too neat and precise, and as I say, literally just spread those beads around as you're doing it, pulling it quite tight around there as you go. Okay. Once you pull it off, the ends, you can just sort of fold over or tuck under. Don't worry too much if the whole thing's a little bit springy at this stage, because once it's actually all threaded onto the necklace, that will all kind of squash down. Okay, so we're just going to do little clusters like that. So altogether we want one of this larger one, which is 30cm of wire. You want 2 lengths of 25cm of wire, which you do on the medium-sized former. Then you're going to want 2 of 20cm, again on the medium, and then 4 of 20cm on the smaller one. So I've got some here in good old Blue Peter fashion that I've made earlier. Okay, so you can see that they go down in size quite markedly. Okay, now that's going to be one side of the necklace. I'm going to show you how we're going to pop it onto one side. So I've got some memory wire here. This is necklace size memory wire. This is a stainless steel wire that keeps its shape pretty much whatever you do to it. And all I'm going to do again is make a little loop on the end of this with the round nose pliers, which will stop any of the beads falling off it. Okay. So now, once you've made your wire, it's just a case of threading on all the bits. And as I say, this project is on the Beads Unlimited website, which has got all the ingredients, if you like, what size of beads you need and everything. So I'm going to start off with a 6mm bead. So I literally pop one of those on, and then in between each of those I'm going to pop a jump ring. This is a 5mm jump ring, and this will just split the beads up. So it's a pearl and then a jump ring, and a pearl and a jump ring, and all together I'm going to put on 10 of these 6mm beads. So that's our 10 6mm pearls. So now I'm going to go up to an 8mm pearl, and I'm going to do 3 of those, and I go up into a bigger jump ring as well, so that's an 8mm jump ring. So it's an 8mm bead, then the jump ring, and the bead, another jump ring, another bead, and finish with a jump ring. So that's the 8mm beads. So then I'm going to go up to a 10mm bead, and again I've got 3 of those. So first one of those, pop that one on, and I start, after that one I've got an 8mm jump ring, another bead, And then this is when I'm going to start putting my little wire wraps on. So this was the smallest one. So this is 20 centimetres of wire wrapped around my smallest pen with no beads on it. So I pop that one on, and then my third 10mm bead. Okay. Then my next plain wrapped wire. So again, 20 centimetres of wire on the smaller pen. Then I'm going to go up a size of bead. I'm going to go, I've got one 14mm and two 16mm. So I'm going to put those on in order with my larger pieces of wire. So that's the 14mm. So this is the medium sized wire wraps. So this was 25 centimetres of wire with some beads on there. So I'm going to pop that one on. Then one of my larger beads, so these are 16mm. My second medium sized wire wrap, and then another 16mm bead. And then this is what's going to be the centre. So this is my largest wire wrap. So this is 30 centimetres and I've got 6 beads on there. So I slide that one down. So essentially what you've got there is half of the necklace. So what you need to carry on then doing is just doing the same, repeat the same on the other side with your other wire wraps. So I've threaded on the second half, just an exact repeat of the first half. If your memory wire is a little bit too long, just trim the ends off, but as I say, make sure you use some proper memory wire cutters or something quite substantial. Now with this end, I'm just going to make a loop in this end to stop the beads falling off, just as they have done. So again, it's the round nose pliers, and make a loop. And as I say, nothing's going to fall off there. Now what we want to do is just put a clasp between here. So I've just got a couple more of the 8mm jump rings that we were using before. Attach that one there, and put a trigger clasp on there as well, and close it up. And as before, when opening a jump ring, twist it. So hold it and twist it away from yourself, and then when it goes back together, it should go back together nice and round. That's it. So that's your clasp on there. So that's the choker done. I'm going to make the bracelet now to match the choker we've just made. So I've made about a dozen of these little wire wraps this time. They're smaller. I've just used 10 centimetres of wire for these, and again I've done them around my smallest pen. I've got 14mm beads and 16mm beads, and I'm going to alternate these with the wire between them. I'm going to do this on elasticity, which is just this stretchy stuff. It's really much stronger than people give it credit for. So start off with a 14mm bead and one of my wire wraps, and I'm just going to alternate these all the way round until it's the right size for my wrist. So people's wrists do vary a bit. Roughly you're going to want about 12 or 13 of these beads. As I say, it will vary from person to person. And again, if your wire coil's a little bit sort of springy, don't worry too much, because again, once we actually do this all up, it will actually hold those flat. So we're just going to put another one of those, and then I think this is probably enough of this larger size beads. I'm going to finish with a wire wrap, so that when it joins up, it's there. So yeah, as I say, pull it nice and tight. You can be much firmer with this than people think. And put 2 or 3 good tight knots in there. And as I say, I tend to put a little dab of nail varnish on before I trim the ends, but that's up to you. And there we go. So we're going to make the earrings to match. So again, I've done some more of these wire wraps. So this is the longer one, this is 30 centimetres. I've put 6 beads on here, and I've wrapped it around my largest of my pens. This time I've done a little loop on one end. On the other end I've done a slightly larger loop. And I don't know if you can see, I've just sort of caught that around the wire there at the top to hold it all together, with my larger loop sticking up, because I'm going to use that to attach to the ear wires. So first of all, I'm going to take my head pin, put my bead on there, and I've picked the right size bead just to sit inside those wire wraps. So I'm going to trim some off this, because I'm going to make a loop on this and attach it to the wire wraps. So it's around those pliers, make a loop in the end of here, but before I close it up, I'm going to sit it around here. You want to try and catch it in some of the wire, if not all of it. I'm going to close it up, and then that can just hang in the middle there. I've got my ear wire, open that loop up and attach that to the loop that I'd made in my wire wrap and close that up. So I'll just do that again for the other one. So it's a head pin, so that's the pin with a flat end. Pop the bead on. We want to cut off the excess. I'm keeping about 1 centimetre, maybe a little bit more. So I've got room to play with. Make a loop in that. As I say, hook it through there. Oops, not left myself enough to close that one up. Let me just do it again. There we go. And the important thing with these loops is they're touching back to themselves so that the beads aren't going to fall off. There we go. And then again, it's the long ball wire, just taking the little loop on there. Hang that onto your wire wrap and close that up again. And there's your, oops, there's the earrings done.